Right, good morning class. So this is continuous of lecture 1. We are going to focus element 1.2, the development of digital economy. This is part of Alibaba and the digital China. So under subtopic of two parallel history. All right, I'm your lecturer, Dr. Mohamed. As you can see in the slide, I've been in academic life more than 17 years. So this is part of continuous requirement in knowledge sharing. So hope you all enjoy the knowledge which I'm going to share with you all. So this is my background. So my area of interest is ICT, MIS, stand for Management Information System, e-commerce, apply e-commerce, and I also have opportunity to involve with Alibaba training program, so where I developed a module for e-commerce. Besides that, my interest is on artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, augmented reality, virtual reality, etc., which you can see in the slide. So I'm not talking about technical, but concept and application. How this technology will improve in cost saving and overall organization performance. So for that, I have developed 8 modules that ready for you. You, as a company owner, if you wait, your competitor will say bye-bye to you. Yeah, because the impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0 is unimaginable. You have option to just wait, or you invest some in exposing your employees, your staff into this type of technology. By knowing the technology, they will have the interest and they will make a paradigm shift in the way they are doing the job. Okay, so this is my detail. You know how to contact me. All right, let's move on. So this actually part of the e-commerce, as I said. Okay, let's look into history. How Jack Ma. Jack Ma seems like born to be a loser, but got fate. Who knows? Yeah. So with the right character, with the right enthusiastic and with the right attitude, a person which seems like nobody can change and can influence the world. Okay, Jack Ma is one of it. When he started Alibaba in 1999, he gathered all his 18 of his friends and he tried to convince them about the future of the internet. Even this is the important step. You are not clear on what you're going to do, but you have vision. You know something is there. Yeah, that's why the first step is willing to explore, willing to take the challenge, willing to move forward. With his 18 friend who, yeah, this part of China culture, Chinese people culture, who are willing to contribute to make things happen. This is a positive part about Chinese culture, yeah, and they are willing to share their money to invest in any project. So that's how Alibaba started, and Jack Ma convinced them about future of internet. This one back in 1999, even internet was not evolved. All right, to make it easy to do business anywhere, that is Alibaba motto, Alibaba mission, to create a platform so that seller and buyer can meet up. Yeah, So, one, in 2019, statistics shows that there are 10 million plus, yeah, active seller on internet in China. 10 million out of 1.4 billion is nothing, yeah. And their annual active consumer consists of more than 674 million consumer. Mean is considered still small, yeah, not even half of China population. And 755 million of their population in 2019, they have they are basically mobile active user. They're already exposed to mobile. They already own mobile. They are active relying on mobile. Yeah, and they were also around more than 853 billion. Yeah, gross merchant value, annual gross merchant value of more than 853 billion. And year-to-year revenue growth were exceeding to 61%. Yeah, all right. And the mobile growth of merchant value volume share increased to 80%. So this is obsolete data because in reality the number is keep increasing every day. As we can see, the evolution of Alibaba, they started in 1999. They started somewhere without clear picture on how the Alibaba may look like at the beginning. Along the way, they innovate further, dare to take challenge, dare to start something, dare to take the first step. Then in 2018, see where you are. Yeah, so Alibaba success in their attempt. They created Taobao in 2003, and they created Alipay 2004, and they created. You can see in this journey, yeah, how Alibaba grow with this emergence of new platform that support Alibaba activity. From 1999 to 2018, almost 19 years. And from nothing, Alibaba grew to a level of, even though they are very young, very new, but they can beat their competitor like Amazon. They are par with Amazon. Okay, in previous lecture, I talked about PEST analysis. PEST stands for political, economic, social, and technological factor that influencing the changes happening in China. Okay, for this chapter, I'm going to focus only the political factors. Yeah, and it followed with other lecture which focus on economy, social, and technology as separate file. Yeah, so you can follow. I will post all this in the same platform. You can follow me. Yeah, okay. In terms of political, what is the mission? Yeah, China want to create a stable governance, and they want to have a light regulation. Okay, we know that China is a communist country. Yeah, their ideology, and we are not going to discuss here, but everybody knows their ideology. So what's important here? Yeah, as a citizen, if you don't disturb, don't cross over to paths where you interfere with government and you criticize the government and so on. So if you don't cross over, you are free to do whatever you like on internet. Yeah, you want to do business, go ahead, you can do it as you like. Yeah, so from political perspective, China want to create a nature of Chinese model of government, mean that oriented around long-term goal, big investment in infrastructure, education, and technology development. And they go light on regulation in initial stage to create room for innovation. That's most important. Yeah. Once in any activity, at the beginning you have to give some leeway. Yeah. Once they innovate further, it's structured, becomes something sufficient size of growth, then you have to put in the whatever regulation appropriate for that. Okay. China government, they go for long-term goal, which is the two centenaries. Yeah. And beside that, they have 5-year plan, and they go for big investment in infrastructure, education, and technology development, as I said before. All right. What's the what China did last 30 years different from America? They were focusing into infrastructure education, and whatever resource they have, they focus into developing new area, new infrastructure, then automatically growth. They invest their energy into all this. Whereas in America, the last 30 years, America were busy in creating enemy, and they focus their resources in developing the uh, weapon, ammunition, to combat the enemies which they created. So they were not focusing into right target, and that's why they, in terms of opportunity, they left far behind compared to China. Okay, what is the meaning of two centenaries? Yeah, it refers to 200 years anniversary. So when you plan, let's say, yeah, um, okay, the centenary of the founding of Chinese Communist Party of China in 2021, at which point a full, this is a term, Xiaokang society would have been achieved, while Xiaokang roughly means moderately well off. It's a relatively abstract theory rooted in both Confucianism and socialist ideology. It's part of the outline in the objective quantitative term, which is doubling of 2010 per capita income figures. So they go for 100 years, they plan for 100 years, yeah, the two centuries, 21st century, 22nd century. Okay, and the centenary of the founding of People's Republic of China in 2049, at which point China will have become a strong, democratic, civilized, harmonious, and modern socialist country. All right, so we are not going to discuss about partly this influenced by the ideology. So we put it aside, we move on. Yeah, but what's important here, the planning is they go for over the next centuries. Yeah, now 2010, what will happen in 2010? Yeah, this 2010, 200 um, 2000, sorry, 1 minute. From 2010 to 2110. Yeah, this goes to the next century. Sorry, because this is sometime we miss to interpret. All right. In their 5 years plan, there are a series of social and economical development initiatives issued since 1953 in People's Republic of China. Okay, so what they do, we are focusing into from perspective of technology investment, infrastructure, and also entrepreneurship development. Okay, mass entrepreneurship and innovation initiatives were put forward by Chinese government in 2014, together with a host of incentive aiming to stimulate social creativity and unleash every citizen potential. You know, 1 year, China producing more than 40 million young graduate. So just imagine the tremendous pressure they have to face and to create a job opportunity for 40 million employees at least in a year. So that's why they have a policy of whoever uh, go into business and create job opportunity, that they will be assisted by government in terms of infrastructure, facilities, and so on. Yeah, even they will go leeway on the regulation to help these entrepreneurs as long as they create job opportunity. Yeah, so the initiative started in 2013, and 2025 their policy of to promote made in China. There's a negative perception towards China product. Number one, people perceive as low quality product. Number two, cheap. Cheap mean low quality. Number three, they're using uh, labor, yeah, child labor. That's the perception, and prisoners as well. And number four, many fake product. Yeah, China are so good in manufacturing fake product. Even there is a fake vegetable, fake egg, fake rice, and etc. etc. So that's the negative part. That's why government of China, they are focusing into changing this perception. They are going after that type of crime, yeah, among the manufacturers, and it's a criminal activity. China government going after them, and they want to promote uh, made in China. By 2025, they want to create a new perception on China product as a quality and trusted uh, source of product. Yeah, it's a strategic plan announced by government in 2015 to transform the infamous world factory for cheap, low quality goods to producing high value product and services. All right, in education, for example, Chinese universities started offering e-commerce degree from 1998, and in year 2000, the Ministry of Education approved the pilot run of an e-commerce undergraduate program in 13 universities. Yeah, and in 2003, higher education institutes were given approval to recruit e-commerce master and doctoral students. They are the one later become the key person who innovate further, yeah, the e-commerce business. And they spend 20% per year. Okay, their education grows 20% per year since 99, now reaching a expenditure of more than 100 over billion. Okay, and the World Economic Forum reported that China, they have 4.7 million graduate in 2016. India, for example, they have academic powerhouse has 2.6 million new STEM graduate last year, while the US had 568. All right, what is STEM? Graduate. STEM stand for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics graduate. STEM. China, they had 4.7 million graduate in STEM. Yeah, and in 2016, compared to India, yeah, so they had 2.6 million new STEM graduate, while in US they had only 568,000 graduate in area of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Yeah, so less compared to what. Yeah, it's compared to the number of population. American, they have more than 330 million population compared to China 1.4 billion. So basically, but they're still relatively still small. Yeah. All right. Chinese government invests 4 trillion yuan in infrastructure and social welfare by the end of 2010. Since the start of 2018, the National Development and Reform Commission has approved 27 infrastructure projects totaling to 219.43 billion, US dollar. So that's where they come up with the 4G, even in rural area villages, and they develop remote villages by benefiting highway in China. As we can see in the diagram, how their highway look like in the remote area, and import and export from China port have reached #1 in the world. Okay, don't forget the history. When Sultan Malacca asked Admiral Chang Ho, how far is China? During the Malacca, the glory era of Malacca, also China already a developed nation, They have the Admiral Chang Ho who came to Malacca to visit, to build a relationship with Malacca, which was a big international hub for business. And China also have their high-speed railway operation, which is the number of track, the distance of track they have is #1 in the world, compared to other. All right. So, in terms of light regulation, China government adopt light regulation at the early stage for on e-commerce, for example. The emergence of e-commerce in December 2008, Zhejiang Industry and Commerce Bureau put forward a policy clearly stipulating that it will not enforce license for individuals to open store online, because that is the beginning. And until 2019, China, they come up with the first e-commerce law to discipline the market growth. One, many people already in the business, they start to regulate, and they come up with a regulation to control to discipline the market growth by where they want each e-commerce operator must meet their tax obligation and are required to issue a tax invoice. In this case, Malaysia also in the recent years has introduced some requirement for whoever want to do online business to register their business. That is with intention to regulate it, to avoid any scam on the internet and so on. Okay, in terms of financial technology, and Taobao introduced online payment transaction in 2003, and their government did not release license to third-party payment business until 2010, where it's already evolved. Then only they come up with the regulation to regulate it. Okay, so because you give the industry room for innovation. At the beginning, if you start to impose a regulation, that will kill the innovation, because why? They see a threat, they see a slim, difficult to grow, to innovate, no freedom to innovate, right? And as we can see in the diagram here, this is how government let the market regulated by itself. For example, in 2005, Alipay unlimited online money transfer service from debit card to Alipay account. It took 11 years before they come up with the regulation. So 11 years government give leeway. Customer protection, escrow and good claim. Government give 9 years before they start to impose regulation. And on online payment, it took 7 years for government before government come up with the regulation on licensing and so on. And barcode payment based mobile payment, it took government give 5 years leeway, because by 2016 technology already stabilized and government see that it's a time to put in some restriction and impose some regulation. right? And in 2000, year 2000, less than 1 billion worth of transaction happened compared to 2005, above 2 billion yuan. Then compared to 2015, 1.8 trillion worth of uh, financial transaction happened. Okay, because why? 1811 billion is 1.8 trillion. Remember in the earlier lecture I mentioned 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. All right, so that is the end for political factor, which political motivated factor that could affect the business. Example, number one, government policy. They try to facilitate the business, the growth and so on. Number two, political stability or instability. Number three, bureaucracy. Number four, corruption combating. Yeah, so then come the foreign trade policy, tax policy, trade restriction, labor and environmental, copyright, consumer protection law, and competition regulation and funding, grant and initiative, etc. This is all um, area which government pay attention or give some room for innovation. All right, we stop here and we meet up again.